FYI, PSA is reportedly buying SGC. OMG. Okay, it's time for some hypothetical Q&A ASAP. Happy hobby, I'm David Ganis, and we're doing a little car video today. I'm taking my mom to the doctor, and this is some breaking news last night, so I thought we got to get it up there. Let's talk about this. A lot of crazy questions, a lot of things going on. Darren Rovell reported that PSA is reportedly buying SGC. They're taking over that chunk of the market share, pulling it in-house. PSA already owns a ton of the market share, but now they're adding SGC. So I thought, man, what if this, what about this, and what about that? I was like, you know what, now's a good time to do a little hypothetical Q&A. Think of it like this, you know, PSA is such a big company. For them to take over SGC, it's kind of like McDonald's if they decided to buy Shake Shack. Shake Shack, a lot of people love them from Shake Shack. Now I want to get Shake Shack right now. But if McDonald's bought them, it's a small percentage, but it is a chunk of the burger market. And it would definitely benefit McDonald's, obviously. But what does that mean? Would we still have the awesome sauces and all that stuff? Who knows? So let's talk about these questions. Let's go through a few of them. Like first, will SGC remain a separate grading service, or will everything just go to PSA now? I do think this is going to remain a separate service. They have the tuxedos. The tuxedos are a very distinct slab. I think since there is SGC offices in Boca Raton and PSA doesn't have office down there, they have office in New Jersey and out in California. So it would make sense that they would just keep that office there, turn it into PSA's property, and they have the manufacturing, all that, the warehouses, just keep that all there. That's what I think. That's, you tell me if you think I'm wrong there. And now, what is the value of SGC cars? What does this do to that value? I don't think it really does too much of that. I think it's going to still be PSA slabs are going to be like 90%, or I'm sorry, SGC slabs will probably be about 90% the value of PSA slab. Now, what I do wonder about is, what about the old SGC slabs? I'm talking about the green label ones, the ones that you would normally send to SGC to get reholdered. Is PSA going to reholder those? Are they going to continue to do that? I hope so. I think so. It would make sense. So I'll say probably on that one. Will we still be able to even get tuxedo slabs? I can't see why not. I've heard some people say that they think it would all just turn into PSA, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, PSA is buying that brand, and it's kind of like if with Coke and Sprite, PSA will still have, they'll own it. Like Coke owns Sprite, essentially. It's just a different brand. A lot of people prefer that. I certainly prefer the tuxedo slab over PSA slab. So I think we'll be okay there. If they don't, if they get rid of the tuxedo, I can imagine CGC is going to come out with another redesign, the third redesign in 2 years, and they'll steal that tuxedo look, even more though than they sort of already have. Or maybe Beckett does something in that area. The other questions I have are, will we be submitting cards to do 2 different places? I think so. I could see that. I could see if you want PSA slabs, you got to send them to California. And if you want the SGC, the tuxedo, you got to send them to Florida. But that's kind of a minor question. Who knows about that? But if you're sending 20 cards and you want 10 vintage ones in the SGC tuxedo, then it makes sense you would probably send them there. My mom's, she's in there getting a bionic heart, so I'm just waiting in the parking lot at this point. So, but some other questions I have is, will the PSA Pop Report start having SGC slabs on them? Yeah, it makes sense. Of course they would. It would probably be like how gemrate.com does it. They have both companies on their Pop Report, so it makes sense that PSA would just move those in. That'd actually be pretty cool to see all of the Michael Jordan rookie 86 Fleer cards. How many total are now out? Another question I have is, what about the PSA registry? Now, the PSA registry is one of my favorite things that PSA does that I wish SGC would have done. I imagine they probably would have eventually. They got their app, and I imagine that was probably something coming. I do hope that PSA does add SGC slabs to that registry, because You know, that PSA registry is a fun app. You put your collection in there. You compete against other people. You try to get higher rankings on certain sets. Like, for instance, I have the Dream Team. I collect all the Dream Team rookie cards, except Jordan. But you compete against all these other people that also collect the Dream Team rookie cards. Well, what if some of them were in SGC slabs when I bought them or got them graded? Well, then they couldn't be in the PSA registries before this. Hopefully they'll add that. That makes sense. I think they'll do that. Now, the other question is, are we going to have to pay an annual fee like we do for PSA? Are we going to have to do that for SGC slabs now? Yeah, probably. Like, it makes sense. Why wouldn't they? PSA has that collectors club. Now you're probably going to have to pay, it'll probably be a one fee for both grading slabs, both slabs, but one annual fee. And I think we're going to be paying for this acquisition in that way. Like, those prices are probably going to rise on the annual fee. And that's how it works. They spend money on stuff, but it doesn't cost them anything. It costs us something. So that's normally how things like that work. Will PSA start being transparent? You know, Peter Steinberg of SGC was one of the best breaths of fresh air in this industry. He was always very transparent in his social posts, like social media posts. They always let us know what was going on. They always kind of got out in front of any controversies, any grading controversies. Will we see that with PSA? If it was the other way around, if SGC acquired PSA, I'd say probably. I'd say most definitely. But the other way around, I don't see why PSA would change course now. Another question I have, will we get the best of both worlds? PSA's resale value and SGC's turnaround times, are they going to combine? We'll have fast turnaround times and keep that PSA value with SGC slab? Probably not. That's not how it usually works. Usually it works the other way. You kind of lose we probably won't lose PSA value, but we'll probably lose that turnaround time from SGC. Will we ever see Bowman and Topps pricing specials again, like we had with SGC over the past couple years? Not anytime soon, I wouldn't think. I think PSA will continue to do their monthly special grading fees, 1990s sports cards or baseball cards from the 1990s for $15.99 this month only. I think we're probably going to see more stuff like that. Maybe they'll do a few specials specifically for SGC slabs, just to kind of kickstart that and get people used to grading with SGC slabs with PSA. And finally, my final question is, do we think we'll see grading fees climb again? Are grading fees going to get more expensive? I don't think they're going to. Like I said, I think they'll just adjust that annual club price. I think we'll pay for it through that, especially now that they're almost the only horse in town anymore. With, you got Beckett and CGC, but CGC has kind of just taken over the TCG game. And Beckett, has anybody seen Beckett in a while? I haven't seen Beckett in a while. But I don't think the prices climb, and I also don't think that they get lower. I think it'll be about a $15 rate going forward. When they were $12 specials 3 or 4 years ago, that was pre-pandemic, and costs have risen. So that's what I think. I want to know in the comments. Let me know what you think. What about these questions I just asked? Was I way off on some? You tell me your answers. I want to know. Whatever you do, SGC, PSA, have a happy hobby.